Well, hello, as people have gotten haircuts and everything else. It's the hairy beast again. You know, there's a song done by the Cowsills that was in a musical called Hair. I think it fits me to a T. I think it's this damn thing, and not to mention all the restrictions still happening these days. So sometimes I'm not quite sure if I actually trust amateurs to cut this damn thing. Especially if it's a well-meaning amateur whose daughter is way too damn young to have a pair of scissors in her hands, and yet claimed to be able to cut hair. I'm still deciphering on that one. It is July 27th, 2020, 8:35 in the morning. It is Monday. I haven't seen the news headlines. I don't know what kind of woe is happening these days. I've seen other things happening on social media. It's been driving me crazy. First off, Ditka, former Bears coach. Message to that coach. You were great when it came down for coaching football players, but when it comes down for opinions, in regards to who's American and who's not American, you need civic lessons again. Yeah, I'm talking to you about that one. America's freedom is not just singular. It is pluralistic. Look up the word. Plural, many. Meaning, if people want to disrespect the flag by kneeling at it, or thumbing their nose at it, especially when they don't like the damn government in the first place, tough cookies, that's their First Amendment right, stating to the government they don't like what's going on and they are disapproving of them. That means disrespecting the symbol of the government, which is the American flag. Now, I know a lot of veterans out there are split on this. They also hate people spitting, burning, tearing up the flag, because it means that much for what they and other people have fought and died for. But they've also forgotten what their principles that created our country in the first place, the freedom to do so, the freedom to disagree. Otherwise, they're repeating the same damn thing that they fought against a long time ago. And one voice isn't pluralistic. It's authoritative. The same thing that they keep fighting against, which we're seeing right now. And people are supposed to be one mind, one unimind, and we are authoritative. And we are under a regime. We are not under the United States of America. We do not have a republic. We do not have a constitution. We don't even know what democracy is. We are a satellite of a United Soviet Socialist Republic under Putin's thumb. Think about that one. Be pissed off. Be paused. Post it. I don't care. Because it is what it is. You're going just to select one party. Let's go with the American Nazi Party, shall we? Because that's what we fought for in World War II. We fought fanatics. We fought fanaticism. And now we're joining it again? Because everybody has to be of one mind? One thought? Sorry. We're not that. We're pluralistic. We're supposed to be a country of democracy. A representative government. Representative meaning you have different viewpoints. Not everybody else in one particular state, just like Russia is right now with Putin. He's killing off his governors. He's killing off his governors who disagree with him. Are we going to do the same damn thing for ours now? Is this what you fought for? Now you're allowing federal troops into your streets, into your homes, against what the federal Constitution, the United States Constitution, has expressly forbid. We didn't allow that. when we had the British here. Now we're going to allow that for our own troops? So don't tell me that kneeling or burning the flag, no matter how vulgar you think, isn't expressing First Amendment rights against the government. Businesses, however, is a different story altogether. Businesses allow you to have a semblance because there are Supreme Court cases regarding this. Just got to research them. The businesses allow you to say up to a certain point. Beyond that, you're out. That includes social media and shopping marts. And if you're going to go into Walmart with a Nazi flag, expect to get your ass kicked on this one. Because this is the same damn stuff our soldiers fought like crazy all the time. But hey, what do I know? I'm nothing but what the people call a libtard or a libturd. Liberally minded retarded. That's what they call me. I'm liberal minded. They think I'm a socialist. And people are also ignorant because they don't know what a damn socialist is unless they research the damn terminology. Oh my God, that means they have to use intelligence to pick up a damn book or a dictionary. Pick up something hardcover to research. Ew, it's passe. Social media and internet's better. Warp your mind. Not educate you, but warp your ass. For a hell of a long while, we dedicated ourselves to hardcover books. We surrounded ourselves with hardcover books in libraries at this point over here to research because we know the information was researched enough and the knowledge was there. Now social media is there and it's knowledgeable, more knowledgeable than what we've learned in the past. Perhaps our country is doomed and should be condemned as such. We should be doomed. We should be. We should be crashing and burning at this point because we value ignorance and indifference and intolerance more than knowledge and compassion. I got it. Well, that had actually ticked off several people, or maybe more than that. Well, I don't know if anybody else is watching these things. But if they are, good. If they are, then they really must be as brain dead as I am. But then again, I can make fun of myself as being a fool and idiot at this point over here because I deal with a lot of foolish and idiotic things, and it scares the hell out of people because I deal with concepts. I deal with democracy. And the thing of it is, democracy involves multi-parties, not just one party. Sorry, I'm trying to get this damn thing fixed here. Always crooked because it has to have a certain angle. Everybody has a certain angle and viewpoint, don't they? How they look at things, how they view things. And if the angle is not right, if the viewpoint is incorrect, then my God, it may be wrong. Fascinating, isn't it? Having a difference of opinion is what makes our country great. Not dividing, not deriding, but able to look at commonality. We have been so damn divided over the past several years. People didn't like it when we had our first black president, Barack Obama. Nobody liked it when we actually tried to vote in a woman. God help them, we actually had a woman in charge. That was the general consensus going on social media. God help us if we get a woman in office. Half the country was going for the popular vote, and the rest of it was going for the electoral vote, and we got a schlub in office. He says he's going to change the world. He physically is going to change everything. Yeah, he changed everything around. He tore apart our damn democracy at this point over here where we can't even function. Doesn't follow the Constitution. Every president who has sworn an oath to the country, to the people, has sworn an oath on the Constitution and the Bible itself. Upheld. You're supposed to uphold the law. You're supposed to uphold the Constitution of the United States. When did that happen? We had a Congress trying to do their constitutional duty, and they get sidelined by greed, by stupidity. They like things the way they were. They're a boys' club. Maybe we do need a civil war of sorts, because we haven't quite finished fighting among ourselves just yet. We still have enough fight left in this since 1864. Maybe we do need to have our country split apart in different chunks at this point over here. What do you think? No longer call ourselves the United States of America. We're now the Confederacy of what used to be America. Every state doing its own thing. That's how they lost the Civil War in the first place, you schmucks. And having a unified command and having a unified government is what turned the tide. People have their own viewpoints of what history was supposed to be like. People are trying to rewrite history. Say things hadn't happened. Well, I hate to say it, but we still got it in records right now, so how do you disprove that? And how do you say that America is turning into socialists when they don't even know the terminology? As I said before, look it up in a damn dictionary. And by the way, you can thank a socialist for your Medicare and for your Social Security. If not, well, people keep forgetting what history was like. How many times did we get into depressions in our country? We only knew the one in the 20th century. My God, people are blind to it. Only because they haven't studied. Only because they haven't taken time to understand what our history was like. As I learned, and this is scary, in a college system, it may or may not have been liberal, but at least it was general education. And in this general education, I understand that we had several depressions going on since the formation of our country. We started our country broker and shit. You thought it's bad right now compared to what it was back then. Now, we still had problems paying our debts back then as we have it right now. People compared the Democrats back then to now, and they still have no concept of what the hell they were back then and now, because they have no context. They have no history studied. That's why I do not value the ignorant or the indifferent or the insolent or the insufferables or the morons. And yes, I've used those terminologies because I've used those people as examples of those who don't study, usually repeat the same mistakes again and again and again. Look at a test score when you're going through a college exam. You keep repeating the same damn thing over and over again. Or try this one, DMV. You have to study everything about the damn handbook to make sure that they're not going to throw you a curveball. You miss one thing in it, they mark your ass down. And how many chances do you get to get a driver's license? You keep making the same damn mistakes over and over again. You still don't have a license because you haven't studied. That's why I can't stand it. I was like that a long time ago. I only went to school because it pleased my mother, and quite frankly, I wasn't quite sure why the hell I was going to school in the first place. I liked staying at home reading books when I was a young kid. I got into college because of my mother. I had a dream once of publishing books. I had a dream of becoming a famous writer. I had a dream of being as popular as Asimov, Bradbury, Roddenberry, Clark, Terry Brooks. A lot of authors I valued. And in order to have that kind of quality, you either put in the work or you have the talent, and then you put in the work. But you also have the education for it as well. For some, they just pop out a book and call it a bestseller. I was under the old-fashioned way that I had to go to college, so I went to college. And I found out, for a 19-year-old who screwed up 1 year of high school, and yes, I got that on the record, yeah. It holds you back. It holds you back. I looked at my college record after 2.5 years of collateral damage, and I'm thinking, what the hell did I do this for in the first place? I had no choice but to go out and looking for work. For 30 years, I busted my ass in different jobs left and right. I went to a couple of trade schools along the way, and it helped out. I'm a 54-year-old, and I'm starting a 5th year at a community college. I promised to my deceased family that I'd finish what I'd started a long time ago. And I still mean to keep that. Hard as hell as it is, but there it is. Because after 30 years of kicking my ass and seeing people with college educations getting more places than what I could ever get myself into, I know once I get back into college, I won't have the traction necessary like everybody else. But then again, I had 30 years of studying history along the way, and I had a hell of a lot of context. A lot more understanding about my country, a lot more understanding about certain topics that has helped me pass classes. And I'm only taking it 2 at a time. It's 2. My mistake was taking about 4 or 5 classes each semester. How to kill myself. But that's the system. They want you in and out in a 2-year college. That's what I call the 2 years. Get you about 5 or 6 classes, and you're supposed to kill yourself. But theoretically, it's possible. If you're that totally dedicated. Me, I discovered I'd be dedicated, but to 2 classes at a time. And learn to enjoy the classes. Learn to engage the professors. Learn to interact more and more. Not be someone who sits in a chair and learns it by rote. But now I bring experience to the table. I may be closer to my goal than I thought. For a 54-year-old fart, that's not bad. I know people older than I am are going through community college during nighttime and busting their asses, and not to mention a few of them during the daytime, as I go. I like the daytime because I get to talk to students younger. I get to talk to students who are in trouble. I look for those in each class. I hear the talk. I talk to them. Sometimes I'm successful, and other times I'm not. But at least I get to share my valuable experience of saying, stick at it. It gets better. Don't overload yourself. I know you need the money that bad, but you don't need the aggravation, you don't need a heart attack, you don't need the stress, and you don't need the strokes. I've seen it. I don't like it. I haven't put myself through that situation because I don't dare put myself in that situation. So along the way, I've been learning a lot of stuff. I try to put it into context, what I've learned along the way, and also into classes, and it helps out. Because I'm able to hopefully communicate it a little bit more effectively to people. Each semester brings new challenges. I'd like people to try it. Go back when they're in their 40s and 50s. Let's see how college is compared to what it was 20 or 30 years ago. I know that people say, well, I already got my doctorate. Why do I need to go back over there? I already got my master's, my bachelor's. Yeah. You got those nice fancy degrees for one particular degree over here. You think you're sitting pretty at this point over here, but wait until the market turns on your ass. How many doctors and how many other MBAs and BAs and degree letters I've seen working at Walmart as a cashier because the market turned on them. See, it's handy to have a few more job skills with you. I learned that the hard way. If you're 30, you're young enough to do it. Well, if you're 50-year-old for it, you're just doing it for the experience right now because you got the rest of life to deal with. Which brings me to the people I deal with, my own age group and older and maybe younger. The more vocal, the more volatile, the more angrier at life and everything else. And they have to scream and yell at people about it. They're right, they're angry, their rights are being infringed. Screw everybody else. It's dog eat dog now. It's manifest destiny. Go look that term up. And the only thing I gotta tell you is take a chill pill. That's an old terminology right there. I smile at that because it is old. And I'm getting older. I was afraid of getting older. I was afraid of looking at my own damn gray hair sometimes. It's not that bad. Got age, got wisdom. I'm getting it more and more. A wise old sage has to be humble and humiliated. And dealing with a heated political atmosphere we've got right now, a lot of toxic people, you need to have that. You need to have the serenity. You need to have the humility, the humbleness, to look past everyone else's anger and try to see what their point is. If they don't have a point and they're just pulling hot air, they got to be told. And they want to be told the hard way. They want to be yelled and screamed in their face. They want confrontation. They want that negative attention. They're screaming and desiring it like crazy. If anybody happens to bring up a damn flower for peace, gets to be thrashed. No, they want somebody coming up to them with a damn baseball bat and say, you can't do that, you can't be that way, you're pissing me off because you've upset a lot of people. Your viewpoints are null and void because you've insulted everybody around here, not to mention the dead, who fought against your Confederacy and your Nazi symbols. When we get situations like a couple going at a Walmart store who actually put on a mask, that should have been celebrated as a good thing. However, the mask that they put on is a swastika. Fascism. Fascism. Fascism at this point is what we fought and still fight. People think Antifa is the enemy. They're anti-fascists. That's what Antifa is. It's anti-fascist. Did they know? Did the other lunatics know about this? They're anti-fascist. They don't want another authoritative regime. But then you got punks coming in there trying to dress up like Antifa or anybody else like that and give them a bad name. What, you couldn't figure it out? You couldn't see it in front of your own eyes? We are so divided. We are so unpluralistic. We're trying to make a soup and a stew out of one ingredient. And you can't do that because you'll never have a soup. You'll never have a stew. We used to be known a long time ago as the Great American Melting Pot. We had a lot of differences that add up to our culture. That made America great because of its plurality. It's pleurisy. But we don't have that anymore, do we? No. Because we have to be divided. We have to be angry. We have to be skull-thumping people because it's the right way of doing it. It has to be the right way. It has to be the only way of doing it. So my advice is grab your damn ancient rags and ancient skins from caveman days. Grab the biggest club and start clubbing people left and right. And therefore kill democracy, kill the Constitution, kill every law in the line that you love, and become the biggest threat to everybody. That's what you do in America. Now, either that's America with an A, or that's America without the capital A in it. People are coming across the waters into the country trying to find a better way of life than they've lived originally. Some do it illegally and some people do it legally. And now we're still coming up on the problem that people are coming over here illegally because they're not properly processed. But if they are properly processed and show the paperwork, they're still shoved in the jail cells, in the cages, and evicted. Why? If they came here legally, what the hell is a major malfunction? And if they served the country that they chose to serve, and now they're tossed out? Oh, we're also going to toss out the kids as well? Because now we're shredding the Constitution even further. We might as well get a flame. We might as well get just a flame on a matchstick. And go over to Washington, D.C. and torch every document in the Library of Congress, including the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. Let's get it done. Let's burn everything. Let's destroy democracy as it was. And let anarchy reign supreme. One party rules everything. One voice rules everything. But we call ourselves Americans. We spit upon every grave, every soldier who bled and died, every family member who shed blood for the country and for the principles stood for. That means everybody's family is involved. All the way through the colonists. All the way up to the colonists. Everybody. So yeah, let's just drop a bomb and destroy every documentation we've got out there that makes our country great. That tells people that we are great. Let's go over to the Statue of Liberty and destroy that, shall we? Are you folks not getting it? Are you that dumb? You people demonstrate because you have a problem with the damn masks all the damn time. You complain and gripe and grumble because the COVID-19 is kicking your ass. And because it destroyed your way of life. Get used to it. We adapt. We overcome. We rebuild. That's how America works. I'm sorry, you folks never studied that in kindergarten, haven't you? You're still stuck in the sandboxes. Because that's the mentality I keep seeing. That's the mentality I keep reading. The people haven't grown up yet. We haven't learned to see the other guy's point of view. We haven't learned to value that the other guy has rights as well. But we're still looking at our own side. The First Amendment of our Constitution protects us against the reprisals of the government as we express our opinions. It doesn't protect us from the consequences from everything else. But if you're going to be American, then at least fight for the other guy's rights. As much as you hate hearing it and seeing it, as much as you hate seeing a damn swastika on someone else's face, at least you can say to yourself, I support the right for freedom of speech and freedom of expression at this point, no matter how vile and gross it is. But do not understand this. There cannot be one singular opinion. There has to be multiple opinions. We all have to support the right to have those multiple opinions, no matter how much they hurt and harm. Even if they are saying that the COVID-19 is a joke. Even if the masks won't help. Even if the medical establishment with all the established facts are wrong. And a few others who keep repeating the same stuff over and over again are totally right. Understand, they have a right to say this. No matter how wrong they are, because we've got the facts and figures to prove them otherwise. Democracy is one of the hardest damn things for us to understand. Even Aristotle, when he was writing about democracy, had a problem of understanding this. They had a problem with this in ancient Greek times. And it was a hell of a lot worse because they classified their people. If you weren't born of Greece one way or another, you weren't allowed to vote or be a citizen. You were a slave. You were lucky enough you worked your way out of the damn thing and into citizenship. That was their form of democracy back then in the ancient times. Imagine what we had when we started up our colonies. Oh, let's see, we did. We imported people from other places to be indentured. Either we paid them or we didn't pay them. Or we claimed we owned them. Isn't that fair? And how many amendments and how much blood was shed before we actually got to a point where we actually said all men were created equal. All men were created free. Then women had to get involved. They had to say their point because we focused on the men, not the women. Or did we forget the Equal Rights Amendment? Did we forget the women's suffragette movement? Did we forget people's will to fight for their freedom? To be represented, to be counted for. And you understand, the other schmucks got an opinion. You may hate it, but if you're going to be American, value the right for them to express it. Before you cold-cock the son of a bitch. Then understand the consequences of your action that you just did. Cold-cocking the son of a bitch. Because at this point, you just initiated a crime. Assault. That means laws. That means rules and regulations we have to follow. That we all have to agree that we have to follow left and right. Did we not do that regarding the Constitution of the United States? Did we not do that regarding the Declaration of Independence? Or did that not mean anything? Taking a kneeling stand in the national anthem is saying something to the government. I disapprove of any and everything that you're doing. And I'm taking a stand, regardless of how the people feel about it. I burned the flag of the United States of America because I hated what my government had put people through and had stated what their policies were like. No matter how hateful and how hurting it is, that a symbol of our country that a lot of people revere more instead of the laws of the land. To think wrapping yourself up around a piece of cloth with a lot of colorful fabric is it, instead of the laws of the land. Then let's give you a club regarding that one. Start clubbing everybody else who values the laws. You just became an outclass. You outclassed yourself, and you outcasted yourself from everything. Hard? Harsh? Good. Pisses you off? Better. Do something.